Good job.
And I'm fucking other egg.
Correct.
And that one too was rich.
Just because there's eddies on our hands. Other hand? Good job.
Like, no, I'm doing by myself.
Okay. All right. Good.
I'm right here.
So hold it. Flip it this way. Hold it with this hand. And now cut. Good job. Good job. AJ, that was so good. Breakfast today, I am doing breakfast tacos. So egg, sausage, cheese, and a tortilla. And then I made this like little smoothie that just has bananas, strawberries, blueberries, and some ice because I'm just craving something fresh this morning. More? What do you want to feed her?
Yeah. They are. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Good morning, guys. Just got Emma down for her first nap of the day. We are going to library story time in a little bit. If you guys follow me on Instagram, you have heard me talk about library story time and how much it has just like changed the game in terms of helping AJ step out of his comfort zone. Obviously, he is being watched by my mom full time, and while he is not with any other kids, he is with kids and with an adult that he feels super comfortable with. Like, he is with his sister and his two cousins who are arguably his best friends in the entire world. So we don't really interact too much with kids that aren't like our immediate circle or adults that are our immediate circle. So we definitely found that when we were having friends over or when we were out and about doing things, he was like really nervous being around those people. And obviously, while like a good level of stranger danger is like good and it's normal, I also want him to feel comfortable like being around other people that are in our immediate group and also like interacting with other children who aren't our immediate group, because obviously as he goes into preschool and then kindergarten, he's not going to have a choice. He's going to be interacting with all different types of people. It truly is amazing how much of a difference it has made in terms of stepping him outside his comfort zone, where now he looks forward to like, yes, baby, yes. Your juice is empty? Okay, I'll get you more in 1 second, okay? It has truly made the biggest difference in terms of stepping him outside of his comfort zone and interacting with other kids. And while he still isn't like really interacting with them, he's also just not like terrified of them now, where like if the child who's sitting 2 people down is screaming and loud, before that used to like absolutely terrify him and send him into tears. And now he's just getting more used to it, which I think has been a huge improvement in terms of just getting him comfortable in situations that he's not super comfortable with. He is certainly a little bit more on the shyer side when you first meet him. And then once you know him, he's chatty, he's energetic, he is the happiest little boy in the room, but he definitely is a little bit guarded when you first meet him, which obviously is a good thing, but we want to make sure that he does feel comfortable when other adults are talking and teaching and instructing, that it's important to listen and it's important to still engage, and that there are obviously are like safe adults outside our immediate group. So it has just been like incredible. Like, he genuinely looks forward to it all week. He goes on Wednesdays with my mom and then on Fridays with me, and it has been a super fun way for like us to get out of the house and do something. Since it is literally 30 degrees out, it gives us something to do, but it's also just been great in terms of getting him outside of his comfort zone, interacting with other adults, other kids, doing something like productive where he's learning and he's listening. Like, it has just been the best thing in the entire world. So Emma's down for her first nap now, and then when she wakes up from that, we will get her ready and we will head over there. We are meeting my mom and the twins because she watches them on Fridays, but obviously I'm off, so we all will go over there together and do story time together. I think one of the most challenging things for me as a parent is like what to do during nap time, because I think by nature I am so just like go 24/7 that I feel like after I am sprinting around and I put the kids down for a nap that I should be doing something productive. And this nap just gave me a run for my money. So we got back from story time a little bit ago, right around like 11:30, 11:40, and pretty immediately you have to go right into the nap time routine. And so I did Emma first because typically she goes down earlier. So I fed her and I rocked her and I put her down, and she fought a little bit to go down, but then she settled, and immediately as soon as I started rocking AJ, she woke right back up and was screaming hysterically in her crib while I rocked AJ for 10-15 minutes until I put him down. So then I had to go back into her room and I realized that she pooped, which is why she was crying, and so I had to change her diaper and then go through the whole like rocking process again. So it is now 12:45 and we started this nap time process at 11:45, and I'm finally gonna have a second to eat, and I feel like I should be productive and I should like clean up the dishes from this morning's breakfast, and I should like dress Christmas cards and all that. But honestly, I just need a second, so I figured I'm gonna eat some lunch. And I posted a Q&A on my Instagram a few days ago, and I was gonna sit down and do like a formal Q&A, but I just figured while I'm eating, answer some questions for you guys here. The first question is, how did I know I was ready for kids? And then how did I know that I was ready for baby number 2? The answers are sort of similar for both. I feel like before we had AJ, I was very open about the fact that before we got pregnant, before we started trying to get pregnant with him, I felt like I was incredibly selfish. Like I did not feel like I was ready to give up a lot of the things that I wanted to give up. I didn't want to not be able to do the things that I wanted to be able to do. I wanted to be able to go to the gym whenever I wanted and take as long as I wanted there. I wanted to be able to hang out with my friends whenever I wanted. Like I felt like I was just in a more selfish, quote unquote, era. And not to say that that's a bad thing by any means, but I thought it was just like really, I had to be really transparent with myself about the fact that like I was not ready to have kids yet before we got pregnant with AJ, because I was not ready to give all of those things up. I wasn't ready for my life to change. And not that when you have kids, you're not able to do any of that stuff by any means, because of course you can, but it does obviously change your life pretty drastically. And there are times when you do have to say no to plans and you are not able to go out 24/7 and you aren't able to spend as long at the gym or whatever the case may be. It does drastically change you, and I was just not ready for that yet. So before we decided to get pregnant with AJ, I would openly admit that I was in a fairly like quote unquote selfish era and didn't feel like having something or someone controlling whatever I did on a day-to-day basis. I always knew I wanted to be a mom. I always knew that I wanted to have kids. I just didn't know what I wanted that timeline to look like. And honestly, I would just say that one day it just kind of clicked for me, and I just said like, yes, I feel ready now. I feel like this is the time. And from the moment we got married and came back from our honeymoon, we basically decided, we had a conversation about, do we feel ready that if it was going to happen month 1, would we feel prepared? And would we be okay with it? And we both decided, yes, we would. We feel ready. We feel prepared for it. We were at our apartment at the time, but we were in the process of moving into the house that we are in now. And so we were like, yes, this feels like the perfect time to just not prevent, and whatever's meant to happen, happen. We were super fortunate that 3 months into us not preventing, we were able to get pregnant with AJ. So it's kind of just a mindset shift for me there. In terms of having Emma, so getting pregnant with baby number 2, I would say that I always knew that I wanted my kids to be close together. I am one of 6 kids. All of us, for the most part, are about 2 years apart, and I really enjoy that age gap. And I knew in my heart that as soon as AJ turned 1, I wanted to not prevent for baby number 2. That was something that Timmy and I decided, we discussed, we felt prepared for. I did know that I wanted to wait his first full year of life to not be actively trying or actively not preventing for another baby, because I wanted that first full year to be just like so all about him. And whether you get pregnant within the first year of your baby's life, obviously there's no judgment, but that was just personally how I felt. Like I just did not feel ready within the first year of his life. So once he turned 1, I was like, okay, we cannot prevent. And very similarly, and then 2 months into not preventing for baby number 2, we got pregnant with Emma. So we are really fortunate that as of this point, we have been able to have a conversation, feel ready for it, and know that, okay, this is the time that we want to do it, and then get pregnant very quickly. I know that's not the case for everybody. I have very close people in my life that have dealt with infertility and dealt with miscarriages and loss, and I never ever want to seem ungrateful for how quote unquote easy it has been for us. But definitely, I think both times, I think first time was just a mindset shift that one day I was like, not one day, but over the course of time, I was like, yes, I feel prepared. I feel ready to be more selfless instead of selfish. And then with Emma, it was truly, I want my babies to be close together. If I'm able to have them close together, that would be my ideal situation. And we were fortunate enough that that was able to happen. Next question is, when will I stop breastfeeding Emma? I was really fortunate that I was able to breastfeed AJ for 14 months, which was right up until when I got pregnant with Emma. And in my most ideal situation, I would love to be able to feed Emma for up until the first year of her life, and then anything after is extra at this point. I've been really fortunate that both times I have been able to breastfeed and have a successful breastfeeding journey where my babies are healthy and they're gaining weight, and it's mentally okay on me and my body as well. And if I'm able to get her to a full year of breastfeeding where she can start to transition to whole milk, that is my most ideal situation. Anything I do after that point will be up to what I feel is best and what she needs. I decided to stop breastfeeding AJ right around 14 months because that is when I got pregnant with Emma. And personally, I did not want to be breastfeeding while I was pregnant. So we knew that we started weaning right after he turned 1 because we knew we wanted to get pregnant shortly after he turned 1. And it worked out timeline wise that basically as soon as I found out that I was pregnant with Emma, shortly after, a week or two later, he was kind of done breastfeeding altogether. So that would be my most ideal situation, is to 12 months, and then anything after that point is extra. Obviously there's lots of mom questions, so I figured for today's vlog I'll just stick with some mom focused questions, and then there's other like workout focused questions I can do in another vlog. So my next one is the hardest part about being a working mom. I could genuinely have a whole video on just this if I'm being very honest. Like, there are so many things that I love about being a working mom, but there are definitely a lot of challenges with being a working mom. I think, to start positively, things that I appreciate is the fact that my kids are going to see their mom working really, really hard and hustling and doing something that she does love and she's passionate about, and that I'm able to provide for my family, and I love that. Not to say that stay-at-home moms are not providing for their family. I would never, ever, ever make that comparison, because I would argue that being a stay-at-home mom is more challenging than the job I currently have, because you're on 24/7, where you don't get 20 minutes to go to the bathroom, to take a break, to go work out in the middle of the day. Like, I would make the argument that being a stay-at-home mom is significantly more challenging than what I currently do. But I do appreciate the fact that I can provide financially for my family, that my kids do get to see their mom working and doing something that she loves in a space that she loves. But I would say there's a lot of things that are really challenging for me about being a working mom. And I just love my babies. Like, I just love my babies, and I love being with them, and I love spending time with them. And if I could be with them 24/7, I would be with them 24/7. And while I know that that means that my job would be a lot harder than the job that I'm currently doing, I would do it in a heartbeat, because that means I could see every single moment of their day, all of the good, all of the bad. Yes, sometimes I would lose my patience. Sometimes I would be super burnt out. I'm not saying that I wouldn't, but I don't want to miss any moment with them. Like, I just want to be with them 24/7. I want to be able to see all of their first everything. It was really hard for me this time around because I'm working full time. When I went back with Emma, where I wasn't with AJ, I was part-time. So I was able to do all of his first foods with AJ. I was able to see him have all of these foods for the first time. And this time around with Emma, because my hours are longer and I'm working full time, I wasn't able to see them in person. I watched them through a video. I'm really, really fortunate that the person who is watching my children can send me a video, and my mom is able to keep me super involved and keep me in the loop and show me all of the special things. But it's really hard for me to miss those moments, and to know that they are experiencing a huge chunk of their day when I'm not around, right? Like, I go into work at 5 in the morning, so I really only have the opportunity to spend from 3 p.m., from 3 p.m. to 7 or 8 with my children. And I know that's really fortunate, because that's better than a lot of parents, because people do work till 5 o'clock. I just go in a lot earlier. But that is challenging for me. That even though I feel really fortunate I get that much time, I wish I had a lot more time, if that makes any sense at all. So I would say the hardest part for me is just missing things and knowing that they're experiencing a lot of things, a lot of life for the first time, and I'm not able to be there for every single moment. So I would say that's the number one hardest thing for me, is just that I had to accept the fact that I was going to miss things, I was going to miss moments, and I've missed a lot more with Emma than I did with AJ, because I started part-time with AJ in comparison to being full-time with Emma, and it's still sometimes very hard, and it's something that I honestly feel really guilty about. And despite the fact that we have to work for that I have to work for financial reasons or any of that. It's just mentally challenging for me, because if I could be with them 24/7, even though it would definitely be harder, even though I would sometimes feel burnt out and exhausted and impatient, I would do it in a heartbeat if it was an option. Probably the number one question any single time I do a Q&A is, do we plan on having more babies? And if I'm being entirely honest, I don't know. Like, I really at this point do not know. If you would have asked me before I had Emma, I would have said absolutely. 3 is my number, 3 was my number, and I feel like that was always a number that I was going to feel content at. And I don't know, you guys, like, I don't know how to explain it, but since we had Emma, like, I just feel so content. I feel so content with my babies. I just feel so whole right now. And I'm also just like, I feel like she's so little right now. Which is so funny, because I said that we were trying to get pregnant with baby number 2 after AJ turned 1, and now Emma is 9.5 months. So we're like getting closer to that point. But I knew I wanted my first 2 babies to be 2-ish years apart, and then if I was to have a third, the gap between the second and the third would be a bigger, closer to 3-year age gap. So I also feel like that's why in my mind I don't know yet, because I'm not ready to make that decision at this current moment, where it's not a definite yes and it's not a definite no, because if we were going to try for baby number 3, it would start happening after Emma turns 2 years old. So we definitely have plenty of time to feel ready or not feel ready for that decision. So I don't want to like say yes, I'm absolutely having more kids, and then I feel super content and I change my mind. And I also don't want to say I'm definitely not having kids, because I do have time before she turns 2 and we would have to make that decision. So I don't know. As of right now, I really don't know. I really am not sure. In my heart, if I had to say yes or no right now, do I feel like I'm done? I don't know if I could give an answer, you guys. I think my answer would be no. I don't know if I'm done yet, but I'm not gonna lie. I feel really, really content with the family I have and the babies I have right now. So get back to me. I really don't know. I'm sure that will change and I'll have a definite, more concrete answer, but I just don't have one right now. Do I find myself comparing myself to moms online? Yes, absolutely. I wish I could lie and say that I did not, and I know that you only see a snippet of everybody's day, and I could sit here and I could tell you guys all of those things, but of course I do. I see other people who have a 9-month-old or have a 2.5-year-old and they're doing this or they're doing that, or it never seems like their kids complain or have temper tantrums or have bad days, and of course I compare myself. Of course I compare myself to even the way a mom looks at 9 months postpartum compared to how I look at 9 months postpartum, and how she's out and about doing all of these things with her 2 kids, and how sometimes it's really challenging for me to be out and about and doing things with my 2 kids, and sometimes it's really easy, and I don't know, like, it's just, of course you do. Like, I think that is the nature of the world that we live in right now, where we see such small snippets of everybody's day, and for the most part a lot of it is very filtered, and it's just the content that they want to see, because of course who wants to show their toddler crying online? I don't blame anybody for not showing that, but I think it's really easy to be like, oh my god, that kid never cries, when in actuality of course they do, and you're just not seeing all of it. So I would say yes, of course I compare myself to other people's parenting techniques, the sleep schedules of babies and their toddlers, and how kids are sleeping through the night and mine don't sleep through the night, and just like some people it seems like they always like have it together and have more patience, and sometimes I don't always feel that way. And so of course I do, and it's something that I'm trying to be better about, because obviously you only see a snippet of people's day, but I don't think you'll ever fully be immune from comparing yourself to people online. Do I think I'll always share my baby's faces? I don't know. I don't know the answer to this question. I think right now my platform is small. It's a small community of people, and I feel comfortable doing it because my children are at an age where they're little, and I know they're gonna change so much throughout the years. I have no idea if I would always share their faces. I think if I ever got super big and had a super huge community and platform, I could see myself kind of stepping back from showing their faces but as of this current moment, I don't have any intention of doing that. Obviously my kids are a huge piece of my life, so showing them, filming them, doing things with them in videos and vlogs, I think that's just, it would be inauthentic to not share those mom pieces of my life. I don't necessarily need that to be the forefront of every single thing that I do, because I am a human being outside of being a mom, and I do a lot of things outside of just being a mom. But of course I'm with my kids 24/7. I do all my things with my children, so I think right now it feels authentic, and I feel like it's okay to show them and show their faces. I definitely see why people don't, and I definitely see why people have removed their kids' faces off of social media, and I totally understand and respect that. But right now I personally just don't feel the need to. But that's not to say I may always feel that. I may always feel that way. Describe my kids in one word. I love this question. I love this question so much. If I had to describe AJ in one word, it would be lover. I feel like that is a strange word potentially to use. I don't mean it as like he's my lover, but like he is just such a lover. Like he loves his people so wholeheartedly. He is literally constantly giving you hugs. He's constantly telling you he loves you. He wants to be around you 24/7. He wants to be touching you 24/7. He just wants to be close by. Like he knows his people. He loves his people with every fiber of his being. And he just is the type of person that if he loves you, he wants to make you happy, and he doesn't like when you're sad. He will do everything in his power to keep you happy, and if he makes you sad for whatever reason because he's not listening or because of whatever, like he wants to make you feel better. He doesn't want you to be upset. Like he just wants you around. He loves with his whole heart and soul. And then for Emma, I have said this before, she is just a ray of sunshine. So if I had to say in one word, it would be sunshine. Genuinely, she like lights up the room that she is in. She is so mellow tempered. She is so happy. She is just the sweetest baby in the entire world. Yes, she cries. Yes, she has bad moments. Yes, she sometimes gets fussy. I'm not saying any of those things, but genuinely, she is just so happy 24/7. And I'm so grateful for her. Like she is she is the little girl that I didn't know that I needed. You guys know that I would have sworn on $1 million that I was going to only have boys, and I was very content with that because I love having a little boy, and I would have loved only having little boys. But God, I love having a daughter. I love having that little girl. I love watching her personality develop. I just love the ray of sunshine that she brings into my life, and how even if I'm feeling frustrated because she's not napping, not sleeping, and I'm rocking, then I look down at her and she gives me the biggest smile in the entire world. She laughs, and it's just like, how can you be mad? How literally can you be mad? So she is definitely just a sunshine. Last question I'm going to answer, because realistically it's been like 20 minutes and there's no way that Emma doesn't wake up any moment, is number one tip to avoid the roommate phase. Just had our baby 1 month ago and we are struggling. Honestly, I think it's really important that you know that you are not alone. And whether people talk about this or don't talk about it, it is really, really common to go through a phase in your relationship where you feel super distant from each other. I shared in my last vlog that it does feel like Timmy and I are kind of living separate lives right now, where sometimes he's with one and I'm with the other, where we have to be really, really intentional to be connected to each other. And I think that's super normal. You're getting up at all hours of the day and night. You're super sleep deprived. You're feeling super impatient with everybody. And the person you're going to take it out on the most is the person you're the closest with. So your partner or your significant other. And that's all super normal. Like you're also like, your body just went through something really significant. You don't feel super comfy in your own skin right now. You're probably not feeling like the best and the sexiest. So like getting it on may not sound like something you want to do 24/7, especially in the beginning. And obviously that's a huge way of feeling intimate with each other and feeling connected to each other. So my number one tip is just to be intentional to make time with each other. And I know I kind of said that in my last vlog, but like whether it's an at-home date night and you literally put on a movie and you make popcorn, or you make ice cream sundaes, or whether you go out and you do a date night, like try to be intentional about once a week, once every other week, whatever works best for your life, to just make quality time together where you're not on your phones, you're not scrolling on social media. Because I get it, I've been there. You are so exhausted at the end of the night, and while you want to be with your significant other and you want to talk to them and you want to catch up, also all you want to do is let your brain turn off and scroll mindlessly on social media or watch whatever dumb reality TV show you guys are watching on TV, and then you don't talk to each other and you go to bed and you do it all over again the next day. It's super easy to feel that way, and you're not alone by any means. But my suggestion would be, every so often when you feel like you guys need to reconnect, put your phones down, put them away, do not look at them, and just have conversation with each other. Just have conversation with each other, catching up about things that don't have to do with the kids, because that's also really easy, where when you finally do get out and you get excited and you go out on a date night and then all you talk about is the kids the entire time, because that's your number one common interest right now. But talk about other things. Talk about how work's going for them. Just ask them random questions that you haven't caught up with them about in a while. Just literally have conversations about anything and everything, gossip about people in your life, whatever you want to do to feel connected to them again. But you do, I think in the beginning, you really do have to force connection and force time with each other, because it's not always going to be there. You're not always going to like have the moment to just talk and catch up and make out in the kitchen. Like all of that isn't all of that isn't a real thing anymore once you have little kids and you have toddlers running around, and it can be really challenging and it can be really easy to kind of just go through the motions of life and of your relationship. So you have to make it a priority and you have to make time for yourself. So my number one tip is to, like, whether it is at home, whether you have the opportunity to go out and about, or whether it isn't even like a date night, just literally turn your phones off and be super present with each other and have conversation, ask questions, and care about the answers. And it will sometimes feel forced, those interactions, whether it is putting your phones away, going out on a date night, and super planned even. Sometimes you may even have to plan sex, you know, that's kind of just life now in this busy season of life. But at the same time, if you guys feel like you're kind of just going through the movements and not really connecting, you may have to force connection until it starts to happen more naturally. So my recommendation is just to stick with it, have open and honest conversation about how you're feeling, and don't just get frustrated that you're feeling this way and then push your partner away more. And over time, as things start to settle down, hopefully you start to feel more connected. But sometimes you do have to force the interaction, and you have to force the connection and the time, and schedule a time and place to do so. And that's okay, and there's nothing wrong with that. But also know that even if it looks like everybody else who has a baby has their shit together, they probably don't, and they're probably have at least struggled at some point, and they're just kind of trying to work through it. As literally right on cue, she is starting to move. So I am going to take a moment, chug some water, crack open an Alani, because Lord knows I need more caffeine, and then start rocking her again and hope that I can get her down for another 30 minutes, even if it's down here on me. Thing about me is I love white Christmas lights so much more than the colored ones, but AJ loves the colored ones, so while he's awake we keep them on the colors, and then as soon as he goes to sleep, y'all know that I switch it right over to the white. It is just so much better for my constantly overstimulated brain, so as soon as I can, they go right back to white. I literally feel like since having kids, I am always in like this position between like holding them and rocking them and breastfeeding them. Like I'm always kind of in like a little bit of a hunched position, that like I'm never standing upright anymore. And I swear my shoulders and my back this week specifically have been in so much pain. Like both of my babies, my 2.5-year-old and my 9-month-old, both need to be rocked to sleep, and for every single nap that they take. And they also just in general both like to be held a decent amount. So I am pretty frequently holding one, if not sometimes both of them at any given moment of the day. And I don't know what it is this week, but my shoulders and my back are literally on fire. Like I feel like I need a deep tissue massage, but also simultaneously just to like be laying down on the ground and someone's yanking at my legs to like get everything back in line. Like that is literally just how it feels. Like I don't know if I'm just going to feel this way for the rest of my life while I have little kids, or if this is an issue that I should literally go to like a massage therapist or a doctor about. But I am in so much pain. Also, I don't know if I'm like a little anemic or what's going on, but both times postpartum, I swear I bruised so easily. And so like I can't really show you guys. Let's see. Bam. Can you see that? You see that bruise? You see that bruise on my leg? Literally I have one almost identical on the other side. Like, am I okay? What did I even hit? What could that possibly have even been from? I don't know. I don't know what's going on, but I bruise so easily postpartum, and I don't know if it's something that I should be concerned about. I have just been loving it. I've been loving Vlogmas so much. It is exactly what I needed to just like spark my love of filming and editing and posting content again. And I just love chatting with you guys. I just freaking love chatting with you guys. But I'm gonna wrap up the video here. If you like this video, please make sure you go ahead and give it a big thumbs up. You already know it supports my channel. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe, hit that bell notification so you don't miss another video that I post. If you haven't, make sure you follow me on my Instagram and my TikTok so you can see other fitness, health, and lifestyle content I post on there. And I will catch you guys here next time.